Season 2?
Season 2, man. Back in here. Officially on record. Found a way to make it work. So what's going on, guys? We are officially back from our little hiatus. It took a little longer than we liked, and honestly, things still haven't panned out the way we exactly want them to. But the important thing is that we're here. We've made the necessary adjustments, and we're ready to get started with season 2. And possibly things may change down the line, but important thing is we're here, man.
That's it. That's the most important thing. I'm happy to be back. Season 2. It is, like you said, it did take us a while, but we're back and rolling, man. Episode 1, season 2.
Yes, sir. How you been, man?
Good, man. How about yourself?
True, man. Just excited to finally have some face-to-face action, bro.
Right?
It's been a minute.
Not only for me and you, but for our viewers also.
Exactly.
Our viewers and our listeners.
Something new, man. Hopefully we can figure this thing out. But you ready to kick this thing off or what?
I mean, start it off.
Let's do it, bro. So
let's do this.
The first topic has to be Niners QB situation going on. A lot has gone on since we last touched base on this topic. If you want, you can just take the reins, catch the listeners up, and just go ahead and give your viewpoint and like your thoughts on where the Niners are in this QB process.
So as we all know, the NFL news shook. Was it last Friday?
Yeah, last Friday, a few days ago.
Last Friday, the Niners moved up from the 12th pick in the first round of this upcoming draft to the 3rd pick. So potentially it looks like we're going to take quarterback. I thought we were going to stick with Jimmy and maybe draft whoever quarterback was there, or that was the point. But now it's looking like, hey, Jimmy, you got 1 season left, and this guy's going to take over your spot. So, I mean, I've been running through a lot of scenarios in my mind and just thinking about, like, damn, man, like, what's going to happen? We do, like we've mentioned, we do have a Super Bowl roster ready to go, ready to win right now. But the question is, like, is it going to be a rookie leading that team, or is it going to be Jimmy leading that team with a potential the rookie just shadowing him, ready to take the reins the following season after next? Right. So I'm not concerned. It's not what we both wanted. I know we both wanted Deshaun Watson.
Right.
But he's in a super sticky situation. I'm not sure what's going to happen there. We would still have to have him, but I'm pretty sure we'll get to that in a little bit. But overall, it's come down to the draft. I mean, it's going to be, I know you're high on Justin Fields, and that's probably going to be that. And I'm slowly I've been getting sold on him. Slowly. Because remember I told you Trey Lance.
Yeah, which I'm not opposed to either.
Right? But, I mean, people are just so gung-ho on Zach Wilson.
Man, so, all right, first off,
tell me what's in your mind right now.
I mean, it's the same thing, honestly. I mean, it's like at this point, everything's been going on in the media. Like, it's going to be a quarterback. That's just what it's going to be. I mean, whether people like it or not. So, First off, I'll say, okay, so if it's quarterback, which I'm 99% sure will be, who do you want to see get called for it to be a Niner? Who's your number one short?
At this point, like I said, I was so gung-ho on Trey Lance. But now it's looking more and more like it's going to be Justin Fields.
Right.
And I'm not opposed to it. I'm okay with it because he's going to be mobile. He's going to be mobile, and we know he can throw. Maybe not going to be in this first season, which is okay. It'll give him some time to mold up and stuff like that. And give, it's kind of like giving Jimmy a second shot. Like, hey, man, try one more time. And, you never know what happens after this season.
Right.
So I think it's going to be – I hope so. It's going to be Justin Fields. So I'm moving up from Trey Lance to Justin Fields now. But if it's not Justin Fields, I hope it's Trey Lance.
Right.
I don't know what all this smoke screen and all this buzz around your boy, Mac Jones. I don't know what's going on there. But it's a little daunting that, Lynch and Shanahan are both going to go see Mac Jones.
Mac Attack.
Because we're not getting anything new with Mac Jones.
Right.
We know he can – you're right. Maybe he can throw the ball and read offenses. But you can teach that to Justin Fields, right, or Trey Lance or, whoever's going to be. you can teach him that. But the thing what you can't teach him is like, bro, if the pocket is your only option and that closes down, like what are you gonna do next?
Mm-hmm.
Are you just gonna take the sack? Are you just gonna be like Jimmy and just take the sack,
Right.
or just throw it up into who know where? Like that's why we need a mobile quarterback, and I think the Niners know that. Shanny knows that. It's like, hey, it's either gonna be Justin Fields or Trey Lance. I think Wilson goes to the Jets, number two.
Right. Same.
But I don't know, man. I feel like there's some treachery there. You never know what is Lynch and Sala talking about. What is Shanny talking to Sala about? What if he's like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, hey, take this guy and leave us Zach Wilson? Because you never know, bro. That's what they do. Because that huge move that shook up the NFL world on Friday, it's like, okay, the Niners are serious. It's looking like we're gonna move on from Jimmy.
Right.
Like whoever we're gonna draft in the draft is gonna be our future quarterback. So they gotta choose wisely, bro. And I don't think it's Mac Jones.
I don't either, bro. I mean, I'm sold on Fields. I've been for a long time. Obviously, Trevor Lawrence is like clear cut number one. He's going first overall. That's it. But outside of that, I think my top pick is Fields. And if, like you said, if it's not Fields, I think it's Lance. I think those are both two guys that they can drop back, they can sling the rock, or they can get things done with their legs as well. And that's really like what we've touched on in so many episodes already in season one. Like that's what we need, especially in division. Like the league overall as a whole,
Mm-hmm.
mobile quarterback is a new thing, but especially in our division, man, we got Russell Wilson, we got Kyler Murray. Stafford is somewhat mobile. Yeah, we'll see how he does once he officially arrives in LA. But that's just what we need. So I'm hoping for Fields, if not Lance. But yeah, to get to your point, if Zach Wilson doesn't go to the Jets, man, I'm really hoping it's not him. Those are just the two guys that I don't like are Zach Wilson and Mac Jones.
Yeah.
I'll say this. We make a lot of predictions and assumptions. We also do like a lot of evaluations and comparisons. So for those that have been like faithful listeners, I would say that by now they know that we're like 90 to 95% right all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, like we've mentioned before, we call things early as well. So I'm going to go out on the limb here. With that being said, I think Zach Wilson is going to be another Jared Goff, man. I really do. I really do. Like, if you really look at the characteristics, the traits that they have, their similarities are in height, weight. Like, they're like these big ego guys, coming out. I mean, Cal has had some decent names, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Jackson, Marshawn Lynch, all that kind of stuff. But I just feel like it's not the best football school. It's the same thing with BYU, Zach Wilson. So I just feel like there's way too many similarities there, and I'm not a fan of Zach Wilson, man. What do you think about him?
And also, I want to say Zach Wilson, right? If you really look at him, he's got this type of also marketing face value to him.
Mm-hmm.
So he could probably get distracted with off the field things, with making commercials, making show appearances, all that stuff. Kind of like what Johnny Manziel did.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of what Baker Mayfield did, because Baker Mayfield was getting more famous for his commercials than what he was doing on the field.
Right.
If it wasn't for this last season that he went off, who knows what would have been happening,
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's kind of where I see a path of Zach Wilson, like going towards that direction. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want that ego coming into the locker room. And I hope it doesn't happen. Like I said, for all those faithful listeners out there, we have been almost 99% true on all our predictions and evaluations. So I hope it's not Zach Wilson. And I'm going to say with the third pick in the 2021 draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Justin Fields from the University of Ohio State. So
I hope so, man.
So we're going on a limb. That's what we're choosing. I mean, I think we both agree on who we really want now at this point is going to be Justin Fields. But back to your question about Zach Wilson, I don't see him razzling dazzling in the NFL. College is different.
Right.
College you can do whatever you want because some players are what percent of the players are going to go to NFL from each season?
Mm-hmm.
It's not many. It's maybe 10, maybe less than 10% that goes straight to the NFL. So he's not going to be facing, like Portland State or Utah Valley State. You know,
Mm-hmm.
these weird. Because I think BYU is not even Pac-12, is it? I think BYU is
Yeah,
like what is BYU? Mountain West.
something like that.
I think it's like Mountain West, so they probably play like San Jose State, and San Jose State is not that great.
Right.
You know, Wyoming, stuff like that. So I'm gonna think it's Niners take Justin Fields, unless there's some type of trickery, bro, and like the Falcons jump ahead and they go to the second and they get Justin Fields, and then now it's like who do you? That's like it's like now what? Now is it Trey Lance or is it Zach Wilson?
Right. Well, like you said, so I think I was telling you on Friday. So they said, you know how the Dolphins and who was it that traded again? The
The
Dolphins and
Eagles?
yeah, the Eagles. So the Eagles jumped up to 12, right? Or they went down to 12. Yeah, they went down to 12.
Yeah, they went down to
So
12.
they were trying to go up to second overall or third overall, but they said only if they could draft Zach Wilson.
Mm,
So it's like, okay, if obviously if they're going to go to three and they feel like they cannot get Wilson, so that means he's going one or two. We know Lawrence is going one. So I'm thinking, Wilson to the Jets.
well, yeah, I think so. I think it's gonna happen too. I think people will call them dumb if they don't take Wilson. You know,
Right.
I really don't care. I mean, I hope they take him. That way he doesn't fall for the Niners.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, I feel like Justin Fields. We saw more of Justin Fields, than we ever saw of Zach Wilson. I don't think I've watched one Zach Wilson game.
Right. Yeah,
You
me
know,
either, honestly.
and think about it. Who were the two quarterbacks in the college championship game?
There you go. Justin
Justin
Fields,
Fields, Trevor
Trevor
Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Like you said, Trevor Lawrence looks like he's a lock-in number one.
He's like, I think he is the most NFL ready quarterback, obviously. I just think the next man up is Justin Fields, man.
And who were they comparing Trevor Lawrence to? Like who did they say he's the next who?
I said he's like a Peyton Manning style player.
Peyton Manning. But
Yeah.
he can move though. He can run though,
Yeah, he's a
right?
little bit faster than Peyton. So what would you say? Like what? Andrew Luck, maybe Joe Flacco.
Andrew Luck, probably. So I mean, let's see what happens with that. So
I'm just
okay,
not. I'm not sold on Wilson, man. I mean,
nah,
I'm seeing Jared Goff. Like they're both guys that are talked about. Like these All American type players. Their football IQs, the pocket presence, the ability to scramble. I mean, granted, I would say Wilson is faster than Goff. But look how high the Rams were on Jared Goff, and he was the first.
oh yeah,
I was reading a stat last week that
Hmm.
he was the first true freshman to start a season opener in Cal history. Like
no,
look how big he was in the media, bro. He went number one overall. They went to that Super Bowl run, which he couldn't even score in.
he couldn't even
And
score, man.
they extended him. They gave him all that money, and look, bro, it only lasted 4 years. Shipped him out to Detroit, bro. He's a lost cause right now. That's what it looks like. I just feel like all the similarities are there, and I'm just not a fan of Wilson at all. And another thing I will say, how we've kind of mentioned before too, is it's BYU. Like name a quarterback that's come out of BYU. Like we touched on how you were saying you weren't the biggest fan of Ohio State QBs. I mean,
Right.
like I've been thinking like people
No,
are
well,
saying, "Well, look at Steve Young." And I mean, you were the one that that you dug it up that he was a descendant of Brigham Young himself, bro. So
so he went to school for free.
yeah,
He
exactly.
would have went there regardless, bro.
Yeah, I actually looked into it more last night. He's like the great 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 grandson of Brigham
Yeah,
Young, so
see,
it's like it's not that far down the line.
no.
So yeah, and speaking of your boy Mac Jones, man, I just feel like what people don't realize is he had all these records and like these numbers, but he's in Alabama, bro. He had the best offensive line.
Mhm.
It was basically like having an all-pro line, not to mention the receivers he played with, Devontae Smith won the Heisman. He had Jerry Jeudy last year. I just feel like if you put him in the Niners system, which is more complicated than Alabama, I'm sure, with the possibly less talented offensive line, who knows what he'll be. I
I
think
mean,
he may be able to have some success like right off the bat due to the talent that the Niners have around him right now. But they're saying the Niners moved up to get a surefire generational quarterback. This guy, he can't be older than what, 22,
yeah,
21, 22.
that's what I
So
think.
that's years to come. I mean, the Niners, they're not going to be able to be a Super Bowl team for all these years. Like once this talent that we have is gone, like who knows what he's going to be, Mac Jones.
And that's the thing. And we also have to look at it like Mac Jones is just like Jimmy G. Let's compare. Like, Mac Jones can't run.
Mm-hmm.
He's not mobile. So if the pocket is his only option, and if that closes up, what do we have? How can he get those extra? How can he extend the play?
Right.
It's not going to happen as compared to Justin Fields or any of the other quarterbacks who are available. Can get you those extra maybe 5-7 yards when the pocket collapses. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we need. That's what we need to compete in the NFC West. That's what we need to compete when we get to the playoffs. Because I'm pretty sure. Look, the Niners should be in the playoffs at least for the next 5 to 7 years.
Yeah, if they're not
with the roster that we have,
right?
With the roster that we have, and if we are gonna go with a rookie QB after Jimmy, that's more money to sign our key players.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're gonna have money for Bosa. We're gonna have money for who else is gonna need
Warner.
Money? Warner. Those guys are gonna need money, and they're gonna be Pro Bowlers and all pro team guys. They're gonna want their money.
Yeah, like I think K'Wan Williams only signed like a 1-year deal. Jason Verrett, 1-year deal.
See? And if we win the Super Bowl next year, fingers crossed, if we win it next year, they're going to want more money.
Mm-hmm.
And if Jimmy can deliver, I mean, that next man up is going to be that rookie QB.
Right.
Right?
Who would you, going back to Mac Jones real quick, who would you say is like his comparison, whether it's current or past?
Mac Jones.
Like that style. I mean, I know I'm hearing a lot of Matt Ryan, talk, but
I can see Matt Ryan. I can see Matt Ryan. Who else? Let me see. Let me think. Maybe like an Andy Dalton, maybe. Who else? Like a Nick Foles.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm thinking. And I feel like at best, his ceiling is like Eli Manning.
Yeah, Eli Manning.
Who is like insanely overrated, bro.
Yeah. So see, Eli Manning he didn't give you 1 yard, bro, if the pocket collapsed. He just took that hit, bro, or threw it away. But that's what it's gonna be so coming down to the end of it, I mean, I think it's gonna be Justin Fields. I hope it is.
Yeah.
There's some Ohio State pedigree on the Niners with Nick Bosa. Maybe he can put some swing in there.
Mm-hmm.
Or, just like we talked about it on Twitter and Instagram, maybe it's just a smokescreen. Maybe it's just a way like, hey, let's hype this guy up, so people can be all gung-ho about him. But we really want this guy.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same thing, they're talking about how Shanahan and Lynch are saying that Jimmy G's our guy. Well, I mean, they got to say that. They're going to be like, oh, yeah, Jimmy sucks. We're going to get rid of him. Like, you got to build and boost his trade value so other teams want to take him,
Exactly.
If trade is the route that they're willing to go. Speaking of Jimmy, though, man, I heard that Shanny and Shanny and Lynch, they called Jimmy to let him know about the move, and they said that Jimmy told him straight up, I'm disappointed.
Funny you say that. Now that we can transition from who we think the Niners are going to take in the draft to the current quarterback situation with Jimmy G and the Niners, I mean, how would you react? What if somebody's like, hey, your boss is like, hey, man, you got like a year left. I already got the guy ready. We're going to get the guy who's going to replace you. FYI, heads up. How would you feel in that situation?
I mean, of course, yeah, he has a right to be disappointed, but I feel like in this situation, I mean, it's his fault, bro. Like he's performed, but I think the main thing is not staying healthy. I feel like that's the biggest factor right now.
Definitely. And how can you win if you're not out there?
Yeah, and I don't think, like, to be fair, I don't think Shanny and Lynch are just like, oh, this guy sucks, we got to get rid of him, Like, I just think, yeah, they're like, well, hey, you can't stay on the field for X amount of games, so you're on the hot seat.
And that's true. Exactly how you said it. That's worded perfectly. It's like, hey, man, it's not that we don't want you. It's just that we can't depend on you.
Right.
If Jimmy would never gotten hurt, if he was not injury prone, I guarantee you, the quarterback talk would not be a situation right now. We would not be talking about who we're taking in the draft or who's our quarterback or who's going to be our quarterback because Jimmy would be our quarterback.
Yeah, because
If
he's
he
a
was
winner,
healthy,
man.
he's a winner. He's proven to be a winner. It was unlucky what happened in the Super Bowl in a couple of games, but when he's out there, man, he's gunslinging those things when he has to.
Mm-hmm.
He's making the passes. So it's not a thing of like, damn man, you suck. It's just like we can't depend on you. And as a fan base, like I think we speak for all the Niner fans. It kind of we really don't want to see the backup of the backup playing.
Right, exactly.
Especially when we have all this firepower ready to go, ready to win. We can't be going out there with Nick Mullins or CJ Beathard
Josh Rosen.
or Josh Rosen or your boy John Johnson or Josh Johnson, whatever his name.
I don't even know if they still have him, to be honest, bro.
So I can see the frustration of Jimmy. I mean, I'm sorry, of Shanny and Lynch, just like
Right.
us. Like, I mean, if you can't play, man, like you're making the whole team look bad. You're making Shanny look bad.
Mm-hmm.
So best thing is like we bring in somebody who hopefully doesn't get hurt and
Right.
will push you to stay healthy.
Right. Which
You
I feel
know?
like that kind of like speaks volumes to what they think of him. Like, if their plan is to keep him for this season or for the rest of his contract and kind of like develop the
Mhm.
whatever quarterback that speaks volumes to him. Like, hey, we trust you to be a
Yeah,
leader and to develop this guy and teach him your ways and stuff. It's kind of like the Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers situation. I think
huge,
Rodgers sat behind Favre for 3-4 years,
easily.
and
No,
that
that's
that's the
perfect.
rough thing is that I would say is people expect these guys who get drafted right away to automatically come in and start and be like all pro players.
Hmm.
Which is like you've had those guys, in the past years that like okay they come out they're on firing on all the cylinders and it's like okay this guy's a rookie you can't even tell but realistically bro to develop a quarterback in the league like you got to give him a few years.
You have to. I mean, show me show me let me see. Think of a quarterback who came in straight out of college. Maybe Deshaun Watson. He came as a starter, right?
Yeah.
He started right away. What's another quarterback? Man, I just had it on the top of my head too. Who he was drafted right. Joe Burrow.
So bro
You
Justin
know,
Herbert.
Justin Herbert. See, those guys came in, ready to play because they had the experience of how much they played, and they kind of were put in a position where like they got to man up, and that's what kind of builds a character.
Mm-hmm.
Those quarterbacks that we just named, they're going to be huge. They're going to be big. Joe Burrow's. I'm pretty sure Joe Burrow will flip that Cincinnati franchise,
Yeah.
to a new level. Justin Herbert. I mean, he looked good. Maybe if they get some good weapons around him, they beef up their defense. They should be some contenders in the AFC West. You know.
Yeah.
So I mean, look, and if we draft a quarterback, we keep Jimmy. Make it a healthy competition.
Right.
Like you said, that shows the type of guys that Lynch and Shanahan and the Niners organization is. It's like, hey, we're gonna keep you, but you got to bust your tail, bro, if you want to get this starting position because we just got a guy who he's gonna be the future. But
Mm-hmm.
if how long you stay here depends on you.
I mean, look at like that situation. Kind of talking about Favre and Rodgers. Also, another one that I feel like a lot of people just skip right over is Alex Smith and Mahomes, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes was on the bench for I think what 2 years.
Two seasons, I think, yeah,
Yeah,
or a season and a half, something like that, yeah.
and he's credited Alex Smith to his development, and he's like, I learned a lot from that guy. I probably wouldn't be the quarterback I am now if I didn't sit behind him and learn his ways, and obviously with Andy Reid and everything, but it's not a bad thing if we draft a quarterback and they're not immediately starting. I feel
Yeah.
like a lottery pick, like a top 5 pick or even top 10 is like the connotation that's like associated with that is like oh, they have to start, they have to
Oh
be a
yeah.
superstar. I mean, just let these coaches are professional for a reason, man. They know how to develop. Like let them,
Mhm.
let them blossom.
Let them blossom. I think I agree, and I think it's gonna be good. And I feel like if we do get that rookie QB, only way he's gonna touch the field is if Jimmy gets hurt.
Right.
That's how I feel. That's the only way he's gonna get on the field if he gets hurt, or if we're just having an abysmal first five games out of the week.
Yeah,
Five games.
yeah,
You know.
if they figure out a way to move on for Jimmy. Because I feel like that's in the back of the front office's mind only to clear more cap space.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, there's a long road. We still got like a month to the draft. So, I mean, we're on the edge of our seats already. We're always constantly talking and communicating. And I got some, some colleagues that are Niner fans as well that I'm always, shooting stuff back and forth to. And I just feel like, man, it's a roller coaster already.
It's a roller coaster. Like Friday was like huge. Like I think Friday, like it was in the morning. I was working and I was gonna take my dog for a walk
Mm.
when the news hit, and I'm like, oh, what the hell, So I just stopped what I was doing. I just sat back down. I'm like, I got to see what the analysts got to say about this and all this, chit chat was going on. So it's gonna be crazy these next, couple of weeks. It's gonna be nothing but quarterback talk,
Yeah.
draft. That's what it's gonna be about. Um, and it's going to be exciting, man. I mean, we should be exciting as Niner fans. We should,
Hmm.
but with a little bit of uncertainty of like, dude, who are we going to get, and we better get the right guy
Right.
because we don't want to go through another 10 years of just like what could have been, bro.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Imagine we could have had Deshaun Watson, or we could have had Mahomes, but instead we ended up with your bro, Solly Thomas.
Not only that, look, I heard people, which I mean, I kind of hate to like name people, but I mean, it's got to be done, bro. These guys they work for ESPN, bro. Like the one of the guys that I hear is just all on board for Mac Jones to the Niners is Dan Orlovsky, your boy.
Oh my god, bro!
Yeah, and I'm like, come on,
Don't get me
dude.
started with that guy.
And I'm like, and he's like, this guy's gonna be a Hall of Famer and blah blah blah. And I'm like, dude, that's like taking Mac Jones at 3 with Fields, Lance, possibly Wilson, out there. That's like taking Mitch Trubisky, bro, over Watson and Mahomes.
Again.
Like, you can't do that, bro.
No. Yeah, dude. You know what? It's these guys, bro, trying to sell us like a bunch of smoke. Orlovsky. Who's the guy who does
Rappaport.
the Rappaport? Who's the guy who does the mock drafts? Is it Tom McShay?
Yeah, it's McShay because Kuiper's on board for Fields.
Oh, Kuiper's on field with Fields, but that dude, what's his name, McShay,
Yeah.
bro, he's like, oh yeah, Fields. I mean, Matt Jones, Niners, match made in heaven. I'm like, no, bro, shut the fuck up. No, we don't want Matt Jones. So stop trying to tell us
Yeah.
that he's a perfect fit when he's not.
I was reading something on Twitter today where it was like, Shanny, I guess he had like kind of some kind of like presser today. And
Uh-huh.
I didn't catch it, but just some like main points that were being thrown out on Twitter were basically saying Mac Jones is his like prototypical like match made in heaven. Like if you think about like the type of quarterbacks that he likes
Right.
is like Kirk Cousins, Matt Ryan, and all this stuff, right? But he kind of hinted at like, look, I've had that in the past, and like where have I gotten with that? So he's saying like I'm keeping my options open. And I was reading that they were saying they asked him about like Mac Jones and Justin Fields, and he was like comparing, and they said that he was trying to have a poker face, but when he was talking about Fields, like his eyes were lighting up. So I'm
I think
hoping so.
I think it's gonna be Field, man. We hope it's gonna be Field. Shanahan, Fields have that connection from like back in the past, right?
Yeah.
It's the deal. He's taking Ohio State to the championship game. Um, I mean, he's mobile. He can throw the ball. Um, I mean, what else can we ask for? We want Deshaun. Why not have a maybe Deshaun number two?
Not only
You
that,
know,
he's been picking up a lot of steam, like kind of so like Cam Newton, like his MVP years and stuff like that. Like
there you
that type
go.
of big quarterback that can sling the rock and still move, run that read option.
It's huge. It's gonna be very, very exciting if we do get this guy because we're gonna have what we've always asked for is a mobile quarterback
Right.
on the
And and,
Niners
and a franchise quarterback,
and
generational quarterback.
a generational franchise quarterback. So think about it. We're gonna have a generational franchise quarterback. We already have a general franchise defensive lineman with
Bosa.
Bosa. We have an All-Pro linebacker.
Yep.
We have an All-Pro
Possibly
tight
two,
end,
bro.
possibly two. We have an All-Pro tight end. We have two really good receivers, I think, that are going to be huge difference makers. We have
Yep.
two solid running backs that are really, really good and fast and physical.
We just
We just
added
need,
Sosa.
we just have to Sosa. Our O line got better.
Hmm.
Like, I mean,
Now is the time.
now's the time. Like, honestly, all these analysts, I'm gonna call them out too. Stephen A, Max Kellerman, um, who's the dude on NFL Live?
Hey, Wingo.
Book no Booger McFarland.
Oh, that guy. Don't
All
get me
these
started on
guys,
that
all
guy.
these guys, all these guys picking the threat in the West or in the NFC is gonna be the Rams. Like, come on,
Arizona's making
come
better moves
on,
than the
man.
Rams.
Yeah, but they're saying that they're so sold they're sold on Aaron Donald, bro. They feel like Aaron Donald's gonna go in the secondary and intercept the ball.
He
Nah,
can't
bro,
do it all, bro. He
bro,
can't
he
win the
can't do
game
it
by
all.
himself.
He can't. Does Matt Stafford give him an edge? Maybe,
Right?
maybe, maybe, but who knows? Maybe they'll flop just like they always do.
Could
You
be.
know. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to monitor the Jimmy G situation. I'm kind of hoping. I know I talked to you guys in the chat earlier this week, and I'm hoping that if we do get Justin Fields or Trey Lance, one of these quarterbacks, if we do get them, that Jimmy has a season like Aaron Rodgers did this past season when they drafted his successor.
Yeah, where they're saying like, "Hey, man, this is it for you," and he's
Uh
balled
huh.
out.
And he balled out, bro. MVP. Couldn't get him to that Super Bowl, but he got him to the NFC Championship. I'm hoping that Jimmy has a season like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm hoping because that way, okay. Now the question is gonna be more on Shanahan and Lynch. What do you guys do? It's like, yo,
Right.
we just got back to a Super Bowl with Jimmy again, and
Mm-hmm.
Justin Fields set his second QB. What are you guys gonna do now?
I
You
think
know,
honestly, what the right thing to do, and what I would hope they would do in that situation is, Jimmy just won a Super Bowl. He as a starter, he had been there previously, but he finally got over the hump and won it. That boosts his trade value right there.
huge.
Send him
So
out.
what?
I mean,
So
he's
what
almost going
would
to
you
be
do?
30, I think. I would send Jimmy out because he's almost 30, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would send him out and, hey, man, you got a rookie contract, coming in.
Mm, smart. So,
I mean, like if you had to move on, if not, I would keep him.
right.
Write out his contract, let him honor it, finish it out, develop that rookie, and
Hmm.
that's what I would do. But I'm saying if they had to choose one or the other, I would send Jimmy out.
Okay. Perfect. So at least we know now that there is no other quarterback after Jimmy that's not the rookie QB that we're gonna get.
Right.
That's there's no. It's like if we let him ride his contract to the end or we trade him, the next QB is gonna be this rookie quarterback that we're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
There's not gonna be trading for another quarterback. No trading for anybody else. It's Jimmy and the next and the rookie QB. Those
Less,
are yeah.
very, very highly unlikely, but if I'm Shanny and Lynch, I kind of poke around like, hey, Houston, are you interested in this number 3 overall pick?
What if they did that on purpose?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it could be.
You know,
And they're just like trying to act like they're going to draft someone, you
it's
know?
gonna be interesting. It's gonna be
Or
interesting.
now, if they don't trade the pick, they draft the QB, send them to Houston, get Deshaun, figure
And
out
what
something to do with
what
Jimmy.
if what if Houston likes that? Like,
Uh,
oh, it's a quarterback just like Deshaun without
there's
the
so
Deshaun
many,
problems. Without the
there's so
Deshaun
many
problems.
scenarios, bro. Just boom, going 100 miles an hour all the time.
It's gonna be interesting, man. It's already interesting. I feel like that's kind of all I eat, breathe, and sleep now. It's just all this
Yeah.
NFL talk,
Yep. I'm like constantly checking Twitter and everything.
And
Uh,
it's crazy because like NBA is going on right now,
yeah. To me,
NBA.
honestly, NBA's kind of been taking a back door to me.
It's me too. I'm like, if it's not the NBA playoffs, then I don't, it's whatever. It's just because of the NFL, man. It's just like it's a week to week game,
Hmm.
and it's not like, oh, you lose today, but you can win tomorrow, or you
Yeah.
can win the next day after that.
For
No, it's
me, I
like,
feel like it's a big no fans thing.
oh yeah,
Not as exciting to watch on TV.
right. It's not that exciting. So we'll see what happens there. Huge, it's gonna be huge. I'm happy that we're back on this first episode of season 2, talking about this. It's just been bottled up for me for the last 3 to 4 weeks that we
Yeah, it's
haven't
been like a
recorded.
month, bro.
Yeah, so it's gonna be exciting. We're gonna now follow it week to week. I know it's been a heavily Niner podcast today, but um, I'm pretty sure we'll have time for the Raiders. These next couple of weeks. No.
Oh yeah, they got a lot of things going on too. They've made a few signings. We'll talk about moves they could make in the draft, which they'll probably fumble again.
Yeah.
But yeah, save that for another week. Real quick though, I mean, before we wrap it up, I wanted big topic. I know we talk about soccer a lot on here. So I'm sure we got some listeners that are big fans of, your U.S. men's national team. So your boys failed to qualify again, bro, to Tokyo. This is third Olympics in a row, I believe, that they failed to qualify for. So, they missed the last World Cup. So give me some quick thoughts on that, man.
So, I actually did watch the game, yesterday. I watched both games and I'm like, all right, let me see. And I want to see what USA had because all these these US soccer players, especially the ones who are like kind of like us, like they're Mexican American
Mm-hmm.
or there's some type of Latino but American, and they're just hyping up the U.S. men's national team. Or whenever a new U.S. soccer player pops up in Europe, they're like, "Ooh, another one,"
Yeah,
And what
yep.
does Mexico have? Another one. Okay, whatever, it was cool. And then watching yesterday, I'm like, honestly, bro, I did not know anybody on that squad yesterday for USA.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I knew maybe just one, Mihailovic, plays for Chicago Fire. Only guy I knew, right? And honestly, bro, they're not that good, and especially when like I'm gonna name drop here, Hercules Gomez. He's. I mean, if you watch him on social media, bro, he's always like, "Ooh, another one. What does
Mm-hmm.
Mexico have?"
Yep.
We look at us. We have a ABCD team.
Yeah, that's all I
But
hear.
that's all I hear. But like, bro, you're okay. If that's true, like you guys couldn't even qualify to. You guys couldn't even be Honduras. All
Mm-hmm.
respect to Honduras,
Exactly.
but
Exactly.
but like the United States has all the resources, bro. All the resources to be great. They
Mm-hmm.
have the facilities. They have
All
the
this talent.
doctors. Yeah, they have the talent, the doctors, the facilities, everything, the trainers. You know, the way of life here in the United States,
Mm-hmm.
and they can't be good at that. That's a little daunting. And I watched, and I think it's just also they're not good. I feel like these players are just playing for the US because they can't play anywhere else.
Right.
I'm sorry to say that, and it's like, but hey, and I'm saying that because you could tell I was watching them. You know how you sing your national anthem before the game,
Mm-hmm.
bro. None of the guys were singing it.
Yeah, no
None of the guys
passion.
felt it. No passion. And it's like when I see these guys playing and I watched the senior team also in the morning. They played Northern Ireland, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was seeing like, oh, these guys, look at all our players. They're playing for high profile teams. I'm like, okay, whatever, right? But it's because like aside from like solid like these would be on the U.S. like Pulisic, I know would be diehard USA. Gio Reyna, his dad and his
Yeah.
mom played for USA, diehard. But when I look at other players like Serginho Dest, like he's good, but it's just I feel like he wasn't going to have room in the Netherlands to play.
Exactly.
That's why
Yes.
he chose the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I look at all these other players and I'm like, bro, you're only there because you play for this team and the United States would love to have you on their national team.
Yeah, you have no other option.
You have no other option. Like the where you were born, they will not take you.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's other players that they'll rather take. So it's a little disappointing for the United States. Third Olympics in a row, and for the people who say like, "Oh, the Olympics, nobody," bro, that's the second most viewed international tournament in the world
Mm-hmm.
for soccer. It's the
Yep.
World Cup, and then it's the Olympics, and then it's your corresponding
Yeah, tournaments and stuff like that.
tournaments, your local tournaments. But aside from that, bro, the whole world's watching the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
The whole world. I'm only watching the Olympics, bro, is to watch the soccer tournament.
Exactly.
There's other sports that I watch, but like I just want to watch soccer tournament because it's like a mini World Cup.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like people downplay it, like just because like that rivalry, that U.S. versus Mexico. Like obviously Mexico qualified, and look when they won gold, but it's the same talk. Like, oh yeah, it's just the Olympics. Like, oh, okay, whatever,
Nah,
blah
dude,
blah. I'm like, they're there for a reason, bro. These are the best people in the world, bro.
they're
Like,
there for a reason, bro. And they're playing for a gold medal, which is just as important as the World Cup.
mm-hmm.
So and then I watched the Mexico team, and they were kind of struggling the first half with Canada, but then they opened up the field and they exploited Canada, bro. They won 2-0 easily, just like they beat USA 1-0 without. I felt
Yeah.
like they were just missing a lot, but Mexico was very superior. Now I see all this, and I want to hear what other people talk, like Alexi Lawless and Stu Holden and Taylor Twellman. I just started following Taylor Twellman on Twitter because this fool like he writes his heart out, bro. Like I see him on
Yeah.
ESPN, and that fool like he talks shit about the
Hmm.
U.S. men's national team.
Yeah,
Like,
and
hey,
I feel like Alexis Lalas is like turning towards that too now.
he is. He's starting to like, red, white, and blue all the way. But it's like, come on, man, you guys can't even beat this team,
Hmm.
And it's true, man. Um, if Mexico's players, most of Mexico's players on the U23s, this team that's in the Olympics, they all play in Mexico.
Exactly.
All play in Mexico, bro. They don't
Hmm.
play in Europe. I don't know if no, they all play in Mexico, and they're playing dominant football, and they dominated USA when they played them on
Last week, yeah.
Thursday, yeah, last week, and it's like, bro, you don't tell me that USA is better than Mexico.
And that's all I saw when Mexico beat USA. That's all I saw was like all over over Instagram the comments, Twitter the debates, on TikTok the comments. Like all I see is like, oh wow, it was only 1-0, and that was USA's like C squad. Like Mexico, like you guys are weak and all this stuff. And it's like, yeah, well, the Mexican team didn't have anybody that plays in Europe. Like exactly, bro. You still lost.
And you still lost,
Like
bro.
I
So
just
it's just like it's embarrassing for the US and all these people who are like diehard. Honestly, bro, I was rooting for Honduras because it's just USA, the USA Federation, man. I mean, they're a bunch of fakes, man. They're a bunch of
exactly.
fakes. Like, um, going back to like, U.S. national, they're fakes. The MLS is just a bunch of fakes, man. It goes back to the stories you would tell me about the San Jose earthquakes.
Dude, like
You
you wouldn't
know,
believe.
like I'm pretty sure you were better than the goalies they had, but
Oh,
they chose these other guys for I don't know what reason, man. For
and
what?
and there was another kid who's he's born in America, but his parents are Colombian. Dog, bro, he was good. And I'm telling you, bro, I heard comments like, "Oh, let him play for his own country," and all this stuff. I'm like, really, bro? Like,
See, and that's why they won't prevail, bro. Honestly, and I'm reading some of these, senior team U.S. national team players like, oh, we're bringing it home in 2026. I'm like, bro, come on, man,
they better
come.
change the formula.
You got to change the formula, man, because they're like, and then I was watching right, and they're like, oh yeah, man, we just trampled over Jamaica and Northern Ireland. I'm like, bro, Northern Ireland hasn't won a game in like 11 games.
Bro, Jamaica hadn't played competitively in who knows how
Yeah,
long, bro. I watched that game from start to finish, and I was
yeah.
thinking, like, dude, like the only people that I'm like okay with is like, yeah, Serginho Dest is like, okay, whatever, he's decent, and I kind of like the way Zach Steffen plays,
Oh
as
yeah,
a goalkeeper. But
but
other than that, like honestly, even Pulisic, like I'm just like I don't see
oh
it.
dude,
I don't see it. Like, yeah, he's on Chelsea. Like, I'll give him, tip the hat, kudos. He obviously has what it takes to get to that level, which a lot of people don't. But
mm-hmm.
when he plays with USA, bro, I just don't see it.
Though I don't honestly, man. Honestly, they say that all these players that they have right now are like, oh, all these players, most of the senior team they could have been on the U23 teams. Okay, I get it. They could have, but they weren't. Okay,
Right.
now I want to see those kids, those Pulisic, Jorena, Musa, and Weah, and
Yeah.
who's this other
Sergeant
guy?
and all that shit.
Sargent, Sergio Des, bro. These guys are gonna get bullied when they go to Mexico
Mm-hmm.
when it's time for the World Cup qualifiers. They
Yep.
gotta go to Mexico. They gotta go to play Honduras senior team. They
Mm-hmm.
gotta play. They gotta play all these senior teams in the Central. Bro, it's hard to play down there.
They're going to get bodied.
Costa Rica, bro. Panama,
Yep.
Honduras. What other team? Give me another one.
El
Shoot,
Salvador, bro. All
bro.
these
Even
guys.
even El Salvador, bro. Canada's getting better.
Yep.
Um, I don't know, man. I don't think it's a for sure. Automatic ticket for the U.S. for the next World Cup.
Definitely not.
Honestly, I'm looking at the teams right, and I'm not being biased. So Mexico has a better team.
Exactly.
Yeah, they lost to Wales on Saturday, but honestly, none of them have been playing regularly. I get it. They got to work on that, but I still think Mexico is more dominant.
Yeah, like they're not like that clear cut, like, oh, Mexico's going to win the World Cup. They're like one
No,
of those top dogs right now. But yeah, when you look at head to head, Mexico, USA, Mexico's here, but USA is down here. Like
yeah,
that's what it is.
and their players could be playing for, like you said, Chelsea. They could be playing for Dortmund. They could be playing for Barcelona. But in the
Mhm.
end, bro,
Come on,
if you
Red.
guys aren't collectively, man, like I don't know, like I'm pretty sure the U23 team, Mexican team, could go toe to toe with their U.S. first team that
Oh,
played against Northern Ireland or
easily.
Jamaica easily. Easily, they got the team. So it's a little disappointing for the U.S. I mean, I think it's another failure for them. Um, Mexico qualified easy. It's going to be fun Olympics, and I think there's going to be more teams allowed to the Olympics this year. So it's going to be like 16 teams.
Yeah.
So that should be fun to watch. I'm excited. Um, I think that's about almost everything that we had. No.
Yeah, and just to clear it up, like I mean, I know like we don't have to do this, but just something I would like to like get a point across because I know like there's people that are thinking like, yes, you guys are Mexican, but you're Mexican American. Like there's people that think like, why wouldn't you root for Mexico and the U.S. and blah blah. I feel like for us, it just comes down to how we were raised. It's just like that rivalry. Like our parents just taught like Mexico. We want to see USA lose. That's just what it is. But I will say like for myself, I can't speak for you, but like in the past, I would say like year or so, I've been like trying to be like, damn, I'm like, am I biased? Like, let me really like, I honestly don't have it in me to root for USA, but like, I'm like, let me watch and analyze and really try and be fair. And it's like, I just don't see it. Like,
Oh,
it's not like I'm just like, oh, I'm a Mexico fan, so I'm just going to hate on USA no matter how good they are. Like, I'm trying to give them a chance, bro, and I just don't see like the talent level is just not there. They could just be so much better than what they are.
same, bro, dude. I've been doing. That's why I've been watching all these USA games, bro. Same.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, am I biased, bro? It's because of the way we were raised, the culture we were raised in, and like we just supported Mexico. But it's just like it's the passion that we grew up with watching the Mexican team. We grew up watching Mexican soccer teams.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know what the MLS was. We didn't even know that USA had a professional soccer league.
Yeah.
So we grew up just watching Mexican soccer,
Mm-hmm.
Mexican national team, and then when MLS started and they got a popularity going, they're trying to get USA national team fan. I just I watch and I try to like, well, I hope the USA wins, but not really. In the end, I'm like, you know what? I hope they lose.
Yep.
You know,
Exactly.
and it's no hate. Like people like you said, well, you live in the United States. Why don't you go for USA? No, well, you don't. Just because I live here doesn't mean I have to go for that, or just because
Yeah.
I live here that means I have to eat that.
It's like for me, I mean, like as simple as I can think of it is like I live in the Bay Area, born and raised in the Bay Area, and like I'm a Dodger fan, and people are like, "Well, why do you like the Dodgers? You live in I'm like, I just who I like, bro.
It's who I like, man. It also it's who we identify with.
Mm-hmm.
I don't identify at all with the U.S. national team with the what is it, the Star Spangled Banner.
The
I do
crest.
not, the crest, bro. The anthem. I don't identify with none of that.
Mm-mm.
And it's nothing wrong. I
Right.
just feel more comfortable rooting for Mexico. It's funner to watch. The
Mm-hmm.
fans are funner. The people are funner. The players are better soccer players.
It's just a better culture. Like
It's
even
just
when
a better culture.
Mexico USA, but like I watch the Spanish broadcast. Like
It's true.
it's just I don't
So
know. I just wanted to touch on it though, like to prove like oh I'm not just like hating on them. It's just I mean I just think it's you know they're a foot above
it's
USA right now.
they're on a different level, and I feel
Yeah.
like they will always be on that level. Mexico will
Yeah.
always be on a different level than the United States, and I think also maybe I also blame. I mean, I think we're gonna stay Mexico fans for like the rest of our lives, and uh,
Hmm.
you know, but it's also too the coverage. The coverage in the United States. A lot of people aren't exposed to soccer like that. There's
Yeah.
soccer leagues. There's a lot of soccer leagues. We get a lot of international football that we get to see on a week to week basis. But when it comes to like national teams, like some people aren't exposed to that. You know,
Exactly.
when we're watching Sports Center, how many times did they talk about soccer like that? Or how
Nothing,
many
bro.
times? Nothing, man. I flip from like English Sports Center, and I also turn on the Spanish Sports Center too. And in the Spanish Sports Center, I get, I also get the college sports. I get, the
Hmm.
NFL, the NBA, the MLB, and I get my soccer. I get my
Yeah.
dose of soccer news.
Right.
But in the English, in English, you don't get soccer, bro. You get like NASCAR, and you get like golf, and you get like
You get lacrosse highlights and
you
shit.
get lacrosse highlights. You get hockey, man. I get it. Those sports are popular to some people, but honestly, bro, there's a lot of people, bro. A lot of people that watch soccer here in the United States, and
Hey,
that's where these broadcast companies are failing them. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens.
we'll see, man. I mean, they still got a lot of room to go. See if they can qualify for the World Cup coming up next year. So it'd be interesting, man. And then we will definitely follow up with this Niners quarterback situation week in and week out. Um,
Oof. I'm
we
excited,
are
man.
we are back.
We're back, officially back. Chris, do you know where our listeners can listen to us?
They can listen to on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcast. I'm drawing a blank right now, but there's like
I think there's Amazon Audible also that we're on there, I think.
there's like 6 or 7 different podcasts. It's basically wherever you listen to your podcast, you can get it.
And now I think maybe YouTube.
Possibly YouTube. We're going to explore with that. Um, that's definitely something, an avenue we're looking to go down, and no looking back, man. I mean, if this episode doesn't work out, it's kind of like an experimental one. If it doesn't work out for YouTube, we will figure out a way to get it done.
Yes, we will.
We
Absolutely.
got the new equipment,
We got the new
mics,
equipment. We're
trying
set.
to
I got my mic right here. We're set.
yes, sir. Now looking back, 2021 going up. I'm excited, man. Got a lot of things going on. Sports, bro. Sports never ends.
Sports never ends, bro. And I'm happy that we got this, this outlet again. Taking that break was a huge refresher for both of us. I bet,
Right.
from those that first season. But now we're back, man, and we're back, and there's just a bunch of news that needs to be talked about. There's topics that need to be talked about, topics that we want to hear, but the main media won't talk about it. And we're here to
Exactly.
talk about it. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
sir. And next week, definitely talk about some hoops. It's
Exactly.
a lot of big moves that were just made. Playoffs are coming up pretty soon, so we'll definitely be back on track. Big agenda going forward. Excited,
Big
man.
agenda. I'm excited, man. All right.
One thing we need to work on, man, is our Twitter following. So if you guys are
Oh yeah.
if you guys are watching, we have a Twitter account. It's at LRT Podcast 20. So make sure you go check it out. Engage with us, follow us, ask us questions. Request topics. Let us know, man.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Until next week, man.
Until next week, man. Season 2, episode 1 in the books.
In the books, we are officially signing off, man. Take care, my brother.
Take care, brother. Be safe. Say hi to the fam.
Yes, sir. You too, man. All right.
All right. Good night.
See you guys next week, man.
Peace.